All right, buckle up, everyone, because this time we are diving headfirst into a game that's still getting made.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking raw, unfiltered game design documents.
Straight from the developer's mind.
CarnageCore, that's the game, and trust me, this is going to be good.
So we're getting like a behind-the-scenes look before the curtain's even up.
Exactly.
I love that.
This isn't some boring old document either. It's got personality coming out the wazoo.
What are we talking about? Give me the juicy details.
Gritty sci-fi world, characters with nicknames like King Cobra.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
And the developer, let me tell you, seems like the kind of person you'd want to hang out with at a gaming convention, you know?
I can already tell this is going to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
And he starts off, and this is the best part.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
Making a game is hard. Don't try to make a genre-defining game.
Right.
Just try to make a game. Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I love that honesty.
Yeah, it's that indie dev spirit, right?
Totally. And it just makes you root for him even more.
Yeah, he's got big dreams, but he's also realistic about it.
Yeah, and he's going for this retro FPS, like think Doom, Quake.
Classic spin.
Big emphasis on story and lore.
Oh, interesting.
So it makes you think.
It's kind of like, why this genre?
Yeah.
If you want to tell a big story.
Exactly. Like, why?
I mean, I get it. There's something about an FPS, experiencing the story through the character's eyes.
Oh, totally.
It just pulls you in, you know?
And speaking of pulling you in, let's talk about the world he's created, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, get me.
The planet is called Hollow Heart, and it is a messed up place.
In a good way.
In a gloriously messed up way, like, think ravaged by war, the whole shebang.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
But here's the kicker. The game mostly takes place on this mining colony, mine shaft, which has been blasted off the planet's surface.
So they're just out there floating in space.
Pretty much.
That's wild.
Right. It's like humanity clinging to survival by their fingernails.
You always love to see that.
You gotta give them credit, right?
I know. It makes you wonder what they're mining out there.
That is the question.
Yeah.
And somewhere lurking within all of this is the CarnageCore.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
That's where the real mystery starts.
What is the CarnageCore, do we know?
He's very hush-hush in the document, which makes me think it's something big.
Oh, he's building up the suspense.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like the more we don't know, the more intriguing it becomes.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got this wrecked planet, a mysterious force at work, and I'm guessing some interesting characters.
Oh, you have no idea. Wait till you hear about these characters. There's something else.
Lay it on me.
All right, so first up, the protagonist, Jack Graves, a.k.a. King Cobra.
Okay, King Cobra. I already like him.
Right. So he's described as a sculptor, a miner, an adventurer, and I quote, a man who appreciates art, explosions, and stacked women.
Wow, he's a man of many talents.
That's one way to put it.
That's quite a combination.
Right. Like on one hand, you have the sensitive artist, but then on the other hand, you've got this rough and tumble adventurer.
What kind of art do you think he makes with those interests?
I know. I need to know what his scholars look like, what inspires him.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find out.
Right. But like every good hero, he needs someone to keep him grounded.
The voice of reason.
Exactly. And that's where Kate, or as she's known, Rocket Queen, comes in.
Rocket Queen. I like her already, too.
Right. She's the brains of the operation, tech genius, keeps Graves from going off the rails.
They always need that, don't they?
Oh, they absolutely do.
It's a classic dynamic, though.
It is. It is. That classic partnership.
Yeah, like you can already see the banter.
Oh, totally.
Hopefully some witty back and forth.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And the document hints at some shared history between them, too.
Oh, extra intrigue.
Always got to have that layer.
A little, will they, won't they?
Who knows? Maybe, maybe.
Okay, so who's the villain in all of this?
Of course, you can't have heroes without a villain.
Yeah.
Enter Archon Voss.
Archon Voss, now that's a villain name.
Right. Sounds very much like your classic fallen leader.
Oh yeah, corrupted by power, ambitious, the whole deal.
Exactly. And, you know, it makes you wonder, is he going to be a straight-up baddie, or is there something more to his story?
There's always got to be something more, right?
You would hope so, right? Some tragic backstory, maybe?
A little bit of nuance, it's always good.
It's always good, yeah. And then on top of all of that, you've got the enemies you're facing.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Oh, we're talking Huskmasters, Shellfolk, Giants, and those are just the ones he names.
Giants. Like massive giants.
Oh, I'm picturing massive giants.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Right, and each one seems to play into the lore of the world, which I love.
I'm getting a real sense of a well-developed world here.
Oh, it's very clear that he's put a lot of thought into this world.
Good world building is so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just sucks you in even more.
Yeah, you're not just playing a game, you're experiencing a whole other reality.
Precisely. And speaking of experiencing a whole other reality, we got to talk about the gameplay because he gives us some juicy tidbits in this document.
Okay, let's talk gameplay.
One of the first things that jumped out at me, the necroaptitude system.
Necroaptitude. That sounds intense.
Imagine this. You're in the middle of a firefight, you take down an enemy, and then you can absorb their skills, even their gear.
Whoa, hold on. So you're telling me you can basically become your enemies?
In a way, yeah, like you're taking their power for yourself.
Okay, that is both awesome and terrifying.
Right. It's like a very literal, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
And I bet it plays into that whole moral ambiguity thing we were talking about earlier.
Oh, absolutely. Like, how far are you willing to go to survive,
Wow.
you know?
It's those tough choices that make you really think.
Exactly. And as if that wasn't enough, he throws in realm gates,
Realm gate?
portals to other dimensions.
Oh, okay, now we're talking.
I know, right?
So we're not just stuck on this one ravaged planet.
Nope. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Now I'm really interested to see what he does with that.
Me too. The possibilities are just mind-blowing.
It's like he's creating this whole universe.
Exactly. And to kind of rein it in a little bit, let's focus on what we know for sure. Episode 1, Prison Break.
Okay, so we're getting into specifics now.
Yeah, this is where the document goes from broad strokes to more detailed level design.
It's like we're zooming in on the map.
Exactly. So picture this. You're Jack Graves. You've crash-landed on this asteroid infested with husks.
Oh, that's not good.
Your partner, Rocket Queen, she's been captured.
Of course she has.
And you've got to break into this heavily fortified prison to get her back.
Talk about a rough day.
Right. Talk about a Monday.
It sounds like the start of a classic action movie,
Right. It's got that vibe, for sure.
but with a sci-fi twist.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I'm hooked.
And he doesn't just describe the setting, he gives us actual gameplay elements.
Like what?
Zero gravity sections, environmental puzzles, a super creepy atmosphere,
I do love a good puzzle.
and of course, a final showdown with the Warden.
Who, the warden?
Oh, just this massive husk robot apparently made from a giant skull.
Oh, he's not messing around.
Nope, not at all.
Metal as hell.
Right. And what's really cool is that he's using the environment to tell the story.
Oh, I love that. Environmental storytelling.
So you're not just fighting your way through this prison, you're uncovering clues about the husks, their origins, how they connect to the CarnageCore.
It's like piecing together a puzzle while you're playing.
Exactly. And keep in mind, this is just episode 1.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Who knows what other crazy stuff he's got planned.
I can't wait to find out.
But here's what's really got me intrigued. This feels bigger than just a game.
Ah.
Yeah, he keeps hinting at something much larger, like a whole expanded universe.
How so?
He mentions these historical documents, even poems, and they all talk about the history of Carven in different ways.
Okay, so it's like he's created a history that exists before the game even starts.
Exactly, and he calls it Carve, this reality where the game takes place, which just makes it all the more real, you know?
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see what you mean about it being bigger than just a game.
It's like we're just scratching the surface of something vast and complex. And I don't know about you, but that's what gets me really excited.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that feeling when you realize there's a whole other world out there waiting to be explored.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do. This deep dive is about to get really interesting.
It's like he's scattered these little pieces of history throughout the document, and they really make you think,
Yeah.
almost like what is real in this world.
It's like he's created a history that's deeper than the game itself.
It really makes you appreciate the level of detail.
And then you've got these names like the Omnihaven and these things called Omnisites, and it just raises more questions.
The Omnihaven, it's like, is it a place? Is it an organization?
Right.
It's like he's giving us these little breadcrumbs, and I'm starving for more.
You know he's got it all figured out in his head.
I can only imagine.
But the way he doles it out is just, like, masterful.
It's a good way to keep you hooked.
Oh, absolutely.
But the real head-scratcher for me, the wounded ones.
Oh, yeah, he does not give us much on them, does he?
Not at all. Just that they're touched by the CarnageCore, but like, what does that even mean?
Right. Is it a good touch, bad touch? Who knows at this point?
It's like, are they victims or are they something more?
It's CarnageCore, so I'm guessing it's not going to be pretty either way.
Probably not, but hey, that's what makes it interesting, right?
Exactly. We've got all these factions, mysterious beings, probably some cosmic horror lurking somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there's some cosmic horror.
This is a lot to keep track of.
It's a lot, but it all seems to connect back to the CarnageCore.
It always comes back to the CarnageCore.
It's like It's the source of everything, the good, the bad, all of it.
Which, knowing this developer, it's probably both.
Oh, absolutely, like a double-edged sword.
Right. What are you willing to do to survive? Is it worth it?
Those are some heavy questions, man.
This isn't just a game. This is deep, man.
But that's what good sci-fi does, right? Makes you think about the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And I think that's what he's going for here,
Yeah.
making us question things.
And you know it's going to be reflected in those tough choices you have to make in the game.
Oh, I'm sure of it. He's going to make us work for that happy ending, if there even is one.
Speaking of gameplay, we got to circle back to the necroaptitude system because that just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So, just to be clear, you kill an enemy
Mm-hmm.
and you get to use their powers.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like this weird form of absorption, and then you can even use their gear to craft stuff.
Okay, so it's not just about getting stronger, it's about strategy too.
Oh, yeah. You got to think about who you're taking down, what powers you need.
Like a messed up version of Pokemon, but with more guns?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And then on top of that, you've got the realm gates, these portals to other dimensions, and they're not just random places. They tie into the lore, too.
Oh, how so?
He describes realms inspired by ancient civilizations, others that are just like technological nightmares.
So it's not just about hopping to another planet. It's about exploring different facets of this world, of Carve.
Exactly. It's like he took the idea of parallel universes and then gave them a CarnageCore twist.
It's like each realm is a piece of a larger puzzle.
And by traveling through them, you're learning more about the world itself.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Right.
So, how does Jack Graves fit into all of this?
It's like he's on this journey, but it's not just about saving the day. It's about understanding this reality he's been thrown into.
It's like he's the audience surrogate, figuring things out as he goes.
Right. He's experiencing these different realms, these different aspects of Carve, and maybe, just maybe, he'll find a way to fix it all.
Or maybe he'll break it even more.
It's CarnageCore. Anything is possible.
And that's what I love about it. You know, it's unpredictable.
Oh, absolutely.
But we've been so busy talking about the lore, we haven't even gotten to the weapons yet.
And he's got some crazy stuff planned.
I can only imagine.
This is a retro FPS, after all. It's all about the guns.
Let's hear it. What kind of firepower are we talking about?
So we've talked about the necroaptitude system, but a good old-fashioned arsenal is a must.
Oh, absolutely. Got to have those big guns.
And believe me, he goes all out. You want tricked-out shotguns, he's got them.
Nice.
Plasma rifles, you got it.
Classic.
But then he's got these other weapons that sound like they're straight out of some crazy sci-fi comic book.
Give me an example. I got to hear this.
Okay, are you ready for this? The Never Portal Generator.
The Never Portal Generator. Okay.
Yeah.
That name alone is intimidating.
Right. Just try picturing this. You're in a firefight, things are getting hairy, and you whip out this bad boy.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It opens a rift to another dimension, sucks in a whole horde of enemies, and then, get this, closes the rift and they explode back in our reality.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's brutal.
Brutal and creative, right?
It's like something out of a fever dream.
You said it, and this is just one weapon.
I can't even imagine what else he's come up with.
And it's not all about brute force either. He also mentions these gadgets and tools that add this whole other layer of strategy to the gameplay.
Oh, okay, I like that. You have to use your brain a little bit too.
Exactly. We're talking gravity manipulators, holographic decoys, even stuff that lets you hack enemy tech and turn it against them.
So you can play it smart, play it stealthy if you want to.
Exactly. You're not just stuck in run and gun mode, although you can totally do that too if that's your style.
Options are always good.
Always good, right? And I think that's what makes this game, or at least the idea of this game, so appealing.
Yeah, it's like there's something for everyone.
Exactly. Whether you're a lore nerd, a hardcore action junkie, a puzzle master, he's got you covered.
It's like he's created this world that just pulls you in and lets you explore it however you want.
And that's what we love to see, right?
Absolutely. That's what gets me excited about games.
And that's what's got me hyped for CarnageCore, even though it's not even out yet.
I mean, based on what we've seen in this document, it has the potential to be huge.
Oh, absolutely. He's clearly poured his heart and soul into this, and it shows.
And the fact that he's willing to share this process with us, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right. Before the game is even finished.
It just makes you appreciate the whole thing even more, you know?
Totally. And you know there are going to be people dissecting every little detail, every word of this document, trying to piece it all together.
Oh, I'm sure there are already forums dedicated to it.
Oh, 100%. And that's part of the fun, right? The speculation, the theories.
Absolutely. It's like we're all part of this big, crazy experiment.
And who knows what other surprises are in store for us. This is just the beginning.
It's like opening a door to a whole new world. and you have no idea what's on the other side.
The best kind of door. And on that note, I think we've done our due diligence here.
I'd say so. We've explored every nook and cranny of this document.
But the exploration doesn't have to end here. If you're as intrigued by CarnageCore as we are, keep your eyes peeled for any news, any updates, because this is one game you don't want to miss.
And hey, if you ever find yourself with a game design document lying around,
Or just a crazy idea for a game.
you know who to call.
Until then, happy gaming, everyone.